Aja semua.
Siapa yang nyuruh kalian anjing?
Jaga anak itu, oke?
The movie The Night Comes For Us opens with the introduction of an elite group known only as the Six. No one knows their true names, but their reputation strikes fear across Southeast Asia. Formed by the region's largest organized crime syndicate, their sole purpose is to eliminate rivals and enforce control. The Six hold immense power, managing nearly 80% of Asia's illegal trade, from smuggling goods across borders to running human trafficking operations, generating enormous profits for the organization. The story shifts to a quiet seaside village where a young girl named Reina regains consciousness. Bruised and terrified, she stumbles toward her home, only to find it under siege. Armed men are ruthlessly slaughtering her people. In front of her eyes, Reina's parents are brutally executed. Just when it seems her fate is sealed, Ito, one of the Six, turns on his own men. In a shocking act of betrayal, he guns down every soldier in sight and rescues Reina. Ito flees with her to Jakarta, seeking refuge at the home of his girlfriend, Shinta. For 3 long years, he had stayed away from her, hiding to protect her from his violent world. After tending to Ito's wounds, Shinta contacts Fadi, a former ally from their old gang, who arrives with questions. He challenges Ito's decision to abandon the Triad's code just to save a child, warning him that the organization has already branded him a traitor. The Triad is hunting him, and the only way forward is to get Reina out of the city and secure her a new identity. Ito insists on secrecy, telling Fadi that no one else must know their location. Fadi reveals that only a few loyal comrades remain, Bobby and Wisnu. He also asks about Aryan, their old brother in arms, now living in Macau and managing one of the Triad's high-end nightclubs. The scene then cuts to Aryan inside the club. When a group of rowdy men harasses a waitress, Aryan intervenes. He savagely beats them down and executes them without hesitation, ensuring no troublemakers will ever dare return. Soon after, he receives a call from Chen Wu, a Triad enforcer, who informs him about Ito's betrayal, how Ito massacred his own squad to protect a little girl. Chen Wu tells Aryan that if he wishes, he can claim Ito's position among the Six. Chen Wu makes Aryan an offer: if he wants to rise as a new member of the Six, he must eliminate Ito and prove his loyalty to the Triad. Without hesitation, Aryan accepts. On his flight to Jakarta, he reflects on his past with Ito, the days when both of them were first recruited into the syndicate and swore an oath to serve it for life. Upon arrival, Aryan meets Alma and Elena, 2 operatives working under Chen Wu who handle intelligence gathering for the Triad. Chen Wu reminds him why the massacre at the seaside village had been necessary. The locals had stolen Triad supply trucks and resold the goods elsewhere. He then delivers a clear order: Reina must die. As the sole surviving witness of the massacre, she poses a serious threat to the organization's secrecy and stability. Meanwhile in Jakarta, Ito is working with Fadi and his allies to secure a new identity for Reina. But complications arise when Bobby, another comrade, informs him that one of their own, Johan, has betrayed them and stolen their funds. Johan, who runs a butcher shop as a front for drug trafficking, has chosen to side with the Triad. Desperate for money, Ito confronts him directly. Johan tries to buy time and mislead Ito, but Ito strikes first, forcing him to surrender. Under pressure, Johan reveals that the stolen money is hidden inside the workshop vault. But he also confesses that he has already sent his men to Fadi's apartment to kill Reina. Ito storms Johan's workshop where a brutal fight erupts. Despite being heavily outnumbered, Ito crushes Johan's men in a blood-soaked battle. Meanwhile, at Fadi's flat, Johan's assassins arrive armed and ready. Fadi immediately recognizes them and warns Sheena to escape with Reina. He then engages the attackers himself, dispatching 2 of them in a savage fight inside the elevator. Covered in blood, he disguises himself with a guard's uniform to re-enter the apartment, only to be met with heavy gunfire. Inside, Fadi and his crew are taken hostage at gunpoint by Johan's men, sparking another intense and chaotic showdown. Fadi and his crew manage to hold off Johan's men for a while, but the odds are stacked against them. Realizing they cannot win, Bobby urges Sheena to take Reyna and escape as far as possible. Soon after, more of Johan's soldiers storm the apartment, overwhelming Fadi's defenses. They barricade the doors, bracing for the inevitable. Outside, Arian waits in his car, watching the building closely. He is ready to move the moment the chaos inside breaks loose. Meanwhile, Ito, who had been unconscious inside a police van, regains his senses. Still chained, he savagely attacks the corrupt officers guarding him, turning the van into a slaughterhouse. In the struggle, the vehicle overturns, allowing him to escape. Injured but relentless, he races toward Fadi's apartment, knowing Reyna's life is in danger. Back at the flat, the situation grows dire. Alma and Elena, two of the Triad's deadly enforcers, arrive with a squad of soldiers. Elena clashes with Bobby, and though he fights valiantly, he is no match for her skill. She kills him mercilessly. At the same time, Wisnu attempts to protect Reyna but is brutally beaten and executed by Alma. Witnessing his comrade's death, Fadi erupts with fury and charges at Alma, but she easily counters his attacks. Just then, Arian enters the fray, saving Fadi from certain death. A skilled fighter himself, he engages Alma in a vicious battle. Their duel is fierce and evenly matched, but Arian ultimately overpowers her. Fadi, however, realizes the painful truth: Arian was the one who betrayed them, giving the Triad their location. Arian admits it openly, insisting he had no other choice. He then turns to Fadi with an ultimatum: hand over Reyna and come with him. Otherwise, the Triad's soldiers will kill them all. Furious at Arian's betrayal, Fadi rejects the offer and opens fire, giving Shinta just enough time to escape with Reyna. A violent gunfight erupts, forcing Fadi to grab Reyna and flee in his car. But Triad forces quickly give chase, firing relentlessly at them. Fadi shields Reyna, telling her to hide outside as he faces the soldiers head-on. In a desperate last stand, he guns down several attackers but is eventually riddled with bullets. As the Triad soldiers move in to check his body, a mysterious woman strikes from the shadows. Known only as the Operator, she eliminates them with deadly precision. She confirms Fadi's death before vanishing into the night. Ito then arrives at the scene, finding Reyna terrified but alive. He takes her into his arms and calls Shinta, determined to keep his promise of protecting the girl at any cost. After Fadi's death, Ito and Reyna return to Shinta's apartment. There, Reyna overhears Fadi's final words, which echo in her mind: "We fought for principles, and even in death, we never surrendered." His sacrifice strengthens her resolve. Meanwhile, Arian meets with Chen Wu at his residence. Alma's sister, furious over her death, tries to attack Arian the moment she sees him. But Chen Wu stops her, insisting that vengeance must wait, and urges them to listen. He explains that Arian's betrayal of Fadi, Bobby, Wisnu, and Johan was calculated, because they were once the core members of Ito's old gang. To truly replace Ito as one of the six, Arian must sever every tie to his past. Reluctantly, Arian accepts the condition, but in return, he demands authority to oversee Jakarta's operations. Elsewhere, Ito finds himself confronted by the Operator. A fierce fight erupts, and she proves more than his equal, striking with precision and skill. Just as she prepares to finish him, Reyna intervenes, begging her not to kill him. The Operator pauses, then questions Ito directly. She already knows his past with the Six, but what she cannot understand is why he spared Reyna when the Triad ordered the village massacre. Ito finally speaks the truth: being one of the Six meant living as nothing more than a killing machine, carrying out executions without thought or mercy. But the moment he saw Reyna, something inside him shifted. His conscience, long buried, awakened. He realized that saving her was his only chance to change his destiny. Hearing this, the Operator lowers her weapon and walks away, leaving him alive but shaken. The narrative then flashes back to Ito and Arian's early days. Back when they were struggling with their small gang, Bobby had suggested reselling stolen Triad trucks as a way to earn quick money. Though Ito initially resisted, Arian persuaded him that joining the Triad was the only way to protect their friends and secure power. In the end, both abandoned their independence and swore loyalty to the syndicate, unknowingly stepping onto a path of blood. Back in the present, Arian calls Ito, challenging him to settle everything once and for all at their old hideout. But before Ito can prepare, the Operator returns. She reveals her true mission. Her goal is to eliminate every member of the Six, one by one. She warns Ito that Arian has already gathered an army of Triad soldiers at the rendezvous point, intending not just to kill him, but to erase him completely. Ito accepts the challenge. He tells her that when the battle begins, she must focus on protecting Reina, no matter the cost. As night falls, Ito approaches the hideout where dozens of armed Triad enforcers lie in wait. What follows is an all-out war, with Ito cutting his way through wave after wave of mercenaries, fighting with unrelenting fury. Meanwhile, at a separate location, another squad prepares to assassinate Reina. At the apartment, the operator single-handedly wipes out the Triad squad sent to kill Reina. In a brutal sequence, she even faces off against Elena and Alma, two of the Triad's most skilled enforcers. After a vicious fight, she defeats and kills them both, ensuring Reina's survival. Meanwhile, at the old hideout, Arian finally confronts Ito. Having already slaughtered Chen Wu's men, Ito stands alone when Arian arrives. Fueled by rage, Arian blames Ito for the deaths of his friends and for betraying their brotherhood. He confesses that the Six had only accepted him as a replacement for Ito, and that his entire rise was built on using their friendship as leverage. Ito coldly tells him the Triad only manipulated him, turning him into a pawn. Enraged, Arian attacks. The two former brothers clash in a savage, hand-to-hand fight, each strike carrying years of loyalty, betrayal, and blood. Though Ito overpowers him, he refuses to kill his old friend. Wounded and humiliated, Arian pulls a gun, firing in desperation. But his weapon runs empty. Ito turns his back, but Chen Wu's remaining soldiers open fire, riddling Arian with bullets. While this unfolds, the operator safely escorts Reina to Ito. He arranges for her escape, putting her on a ship to leave Indonesia for good. But Ito himself chooses not to go. He knows his fate is sealed. Saying a quiet farewell, he watches Reina depart, his one act of redemption complete. As dawn breaks, Ito drives alone. On the road ahead, an entire squad of Triad gunmen blocks his path, weapons drawn. But this time, he does not flinch. With grim determination, he accelerates straight toward them. A hail of gunfire tears through his car as the screen fades to black. And with that, The Night Comes for Us reaches its bloody conclusion, a story of loyalty, betrayal, and the impossible cost of redemption.